Okay, let's dive into one of the most incredible poems ever written in English, William Wordsworth's Tintern Abbey. Now, this poem from 1798 isn't just about a pretty view. It's really a story about how memory, time, and a single place can literally become a part of who you are. And the poem just kicks off with this amazing line. Right from the get-go, Wordsworth tells us what this is all about, the massive weight and feeling of time passing. You know, he's not just counting 5 years, he's feeling the emotional length of every single one of those seasons that kept him away from this spot. And that really brings us to the core question of the whole poem, one that I think we can all relate to, right? How can the memory of a place you once visited actually change your life, become a source of strength, and even guide you? Well, Wordsworth's journey is going to give us some answers. So here's the setup. Wordsworth is back. He's standing on the banks of the River Wye in Wales. This is his second time here. The first visit was 5 whole years ago, and now he's just taking it all in, thinking about everything that's happened between then and now. He looks around, and what he sees is just this scene of pure rustic peace. You've got these huge cliffs, wild hedges, little farms that are so green they seem to just melt into the landscape, and smoke curling up from cottage chimneys. On the surface, you'd think nothing has changed at all. But the person looking at this view, he's changed completely. And this is where it gets really interesting. Wordsworth isn't just describing what he sees, he's comparing 2 different versions of himself. He starts by flashing back to the young man he was when he first stood in this very spot. And you can really see the difference between the then and the now. Back then, in his youth, his connection to this place was totally physical, almost thoughtless. He describes it with these intense words like aching joys and dizzy raptures. But now, it's something much deeper, way more spiritual. He's hearing what he calls the still sad music of humanity. I mean, listen to this description of his younger self. He wasn't just walking and admiring things, he was bounding over the mountains, full of this wild, almost frantic energy. It's like he was driven by some raw instinct, not quiet thought. So basically, his love for nature back then was just an appetite. It was like a hunger, you know? Something he felt with his senses, his eyes, his body, but not really with his mind. The thrill was everything. He didn't need any deeper meaning. But here's where the poem takes a really fascinating turn. It wasn't just about that first visit. It's about how the memory of that visit became an absolute lifeline for him during those 5 years he was away. Think about it. When he was stuck in the din of towns and cities, all that noise and stress, he could close his eyes and pull up this memory. And that memory gave him what he calls tranquil restoration. It was his mental escape, his little slice of peace that saved him from the anxieties of everyday life. And he actually breaks down how this works, almost like a psychological process. He says the memory first creates a physical calm, a sensation felt in the blood. Then it moves into his emotions, felt along the heart. And finally, it blossoms into this deep spiritual experience in his pure mind. And this spiritual awakening, that leads him to a state the Romantics called the Sublime. So what is that? Well, it's this amazing mood, a moment of awe, where the weight of the world just feels a little bit lighter. And in that state, he feels like he can finally see into the life of things, to understand the world on a much, much deeper level. And get this, the effect wasn't just internal. He actually claims that this memory of nature's beauty made him a better human being. It inspired all these small, everyday acts of kindness. It's this incredible idea that our connection to nature can actually shape our morality. So yeah, he's lost that wild, boyish passion. But what he's gained in return is so much more profound. He calls it an abundant recompense. He's traded that youthful energy for a mature philosophical vision of the world. And this is the real transformation. He doesn't see nature as something separate from us anymore. When he looks at this landscape now, he feels this deep, pulsing connection to all of human experience. All the joy, all the sorrow. It's a sad music, but it's a beautiful one too. At the very heart of this new way of seeing things is a belief we might call pantheism. Wordsworth feels this divine spirit, a kind of energy or force that connects absolutely everything. Emotion and a spirit that, as he says, rolls through all things. And he feels this spirit everywhere. In the sunset, in the ocean, in the air, in the sky. But then he adds the most important part. He also feels it in the mind of man. And that's the ultimate connection, right? The divine isn't just out there in nature. It's in here, inside us, linking us to the whole universe. So, because of this deep spiritual connection, nature isn't just a fun place to visit anymore. It's become his true north. It's the anchor for his thoughts, the nurse for his spirit, and the ultimate guardian of his heart and his soul. Now, the poem could have ended right there. It would have been a beautiful personal reflection. But Wordsworth has one more move up his sleeve. In this final section, he turns his own personal discovery into a gift, a prayer for somebody else. And here's the wonderful little twist. It turns out he wasn't alone. He didn't make this journey back to the sacred place by himself. He brought someone with him. It's his sister, Dorothy, his dearest friend. And when he looks at her, he sees the excitement in her wild eyes. And in that look, he sees himself from 5 years ago. She's a living, breathing reminder of the person he used to be. And his whole reflection just melts into this heartfelt prayer for her. This is his core belief, his most important piece of wisdom for her. He is absolutely certain that if you truly love nature, it will never ever let you down. It will protect you from all the ugliness in the world, the gossip, the harsh judgments, all of it. So what he's doing is, he's basically giving her a memory for the future. He knows that this moment they're sharing right now will become a powerful resource for her down the road. It will build what he calls a mansion for all lovely forms in her mind. A beautiful inner sanctuary she can retreat to for strength long after this day is over and even long after he's gone. So, in the end, Wordsworth's poem leaves us with this powerful idea. A place doesn't just exist out there somewhere. We carry our important places inside of us. It makes you think, doesn't it? It asks us to consider our own Tintern Abbeys, the memories and places that have shaped us, healed us, and made us who we are. So,